Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews. Today we are covering Runaway Scrappy, which is the fourth episode of the Scrappy and Yabba-Doo series. So these are the Scooby-Doo episodes without Scooby-Doo or Shaggy. Instead, we got Yabba-Doo, Deputy Dusty, and Scrappy Doo. And in this episode, which originally aired on October 15th, 1982, Scrappy, there's a misunderstanding because Dusty scolded Scrappy earlier for having his hat ruined. And then Scrappy thinks Dusty and Yabba are talking about him. So big misunderstanding. So Scrappy decides to run away. Anyway, before I get on with my review, I just wanted to say the Google truck, you know, that truck that kind of drives and does street view pictures. It just drove past my house earlier this morning. And how I wish I was in my Professor Joel costume. Instead, I was doing some gardening, so I was just wearing like some jeans and a ratty t-shirt because I was ripping out weeds out of my yard. And I just wish I was wearing this. It would have been funny to see that on Street View. Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get on with the review. The episode begins at the sheriff office where Dusty and Yabba are trying to catch a mosquito. Scrappy takes charge and ruins Dusty's new hat. Scrappy then turns on the TV and hears that a train is rolling through town with a priceless shipment of silver. Suggesting that they should all watch the train roll through and protect it from any trouble, Scrappy's idea is shot down by Dusty, who says that it's a job for the federal marshals. Scrappy heads off to bed and overhears Dusty yelling at the mosquito, calling it a pest, mistakenly thinking Dusty is talking about him.
Don't move, Dusty. We got the drop on the varmint now.
Well, just be careful of my brand new Stetson, fellas.
You got nothing to worry about, partner.
Gotcha! Look what you did to my new Stetson. I'm sorry, Dusty.
A train carrying a priceless shipment of silver will be passing through Tumbleweed in the morning.
We should go meet that train and make sure no nasty old robbers hold it up. Scrappy, that's not up to us. That's a job for the federal marshal. He's back, Yabba. Do something. We've got to get rid of that little pest. He's driving me nuts.
He's getting on my nerves, too.
Those guys don't love me anymore. Uncle Yabba and Dusty will be better off without me.
Scrappy runs off and meets up with two train robbers who claim to be the marshals, and they trick Scrappy to rob the train.
Shorty should have been here by now.
Without him, we can't rob the train. He's the only guy small enough to climb through the air vent.
Hey, kid, we're marshals. Can you help us get some stolen silver off of the train?
Oh, you bet I can.
Yabba and Dusty try to stop them, but get caught, and then they get tied up. Scrappy is then tossed aside by the bank robbers.
We gotta rescue Scrappy from a life of crime.
We don't need you anymore.
Nobody wants me. I'm back to being a pup without a purpose.
And Yabba and Dusty dress up as dancing girls to try and capture the crooks. Their plan fails and they are put into jail by the robbers, where they used their chili snacks to start a fire and write a smoke signal message.
Help! We're being held prisoners in the ghost town jail. Yabba and Dusty. I gotta rescue them.
Scrappy frees our duel and together they all catch the bad guys. I give this episode a 4.5 out of 10, which is kind of high. You'd think I'd give this a lower score because nothing is spooky about this episode. But man, I like the character development in this one. We saw Scrappy, like a different side of Scrappy. We felt a little bit sorry for him. We felt some sympathy for him. And I think they did this well. I really think they delved into his feelings pretty good. And I like that. I like the character development, that emotional arc Scrappy had in this one. The villains aren't that memorable, but the chase scenes were super short, and yeah, I kind of liked them. They just kind of made the story go a little bit further. They weren't super silly. They just kind of, supported the story, which a chase scene should do. It should kind of support the story, not distract from the story. Anyway, out of all the Yabba-Doo episodes, I'd have to say this one is my favorite so far. Next week, I will be covering Stakeout at the Takeout, and until then, stay spooky.